All good? All right, let's get going. Today we're gonna play. So if you wanna have your bricks to help, it will help a little bit with some of the exercise that we're gonna do. So starting, just gonna gently starting on rolling the shoulders, big shoulder rolls. Good. 2, 1, let's reverse. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's start making circle with the head. Good. And reverse. Good. One more on each side. Work. Good. Other way around. Good. Let's start making circles with the top. So we're going to try and isolate the top of the body. So like up. Ooh. 3, 2, 1. And the other way around. Up. 4, 3, 2. Arms to the side, side to side. Good. Good. Keep going. 4, 3, 2, 1. This time we're going to reverse, so palm, right palm up, left palm down. We're going to try and move the shoulders at the same time. So we open and close. Left forward, right back. Good, and reverse. Roll shoulders, keep rolling them. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. The hips move side to side. Little circle, half circles. Good. And last 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. We're going to work a little bit through the wrist. We need to do a lot of wrist work today. So rolling down and coming on all fours. Okay, good. So I might move this a little bit up. Perfect. Very nice. So with the hands, so we're going to do those frog hands, yeah? So always imagine you have frog hands, pushing through the fingertips and suction palm with suction cup with the palm, yeah? So we push the knuckles of the hand, yes? The knuckles of the hand push down, heel. We try and like really shift the weight onto this part of the wrist, yeah? The hand, this is really important for the wrist. And we try and alleviate on the heel of the hand. So spread your fingers and really have your frog hand. So fingertips really pushing down into the mat, trying to create that suction cup with the palms, and we make nice circles. And we start nice and slow because it's quite strong already. And we do 4 each side. Trying to have the index fingers facing forward, so we have an alignment with the index finger. Reverse your circles. Nice. 1 more. Good. Coming onto the fingertips. Up. And we're going to do shoulder rolls. We'll try and isolate shoulders, pushing through the fingers. So you really get those fingers to work. Push. Good, we're trying to get really, really strong and reverse. Good, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. We're going to come onto the fist, push down into the fist. Good. And come back onto the fingertips. So fingers, fist, fingers, fist. Good. When you do fist, squeeze as well, those fists. Good. Good. Up. 2 more. Last one. Good. Fingers facing to the side now. Back to frog hands. Pushing down. And we move side to side. Good. So we lean a little bit into the hand now. Side to side here. If you want to add the head, it's quite good to release into the shoulder as well. So if I go to the right, bring my head to right, left, and I push the ground. Nice. 3, 2, 1. Good. Shake it off a little bit. Ooh. Good. Very good. So starting now, we're going to work a little bit on our lean planks. So lean planks is when we do a big cat stretch here. So when we push into your cat stretch, I want you to focus on 2 things. First, really tucking that tailbone in, really pulling that rib cage in. We're trying to round the back as much as possible. So this is what we're trying to do. We still gaze between the fingertips. The only thing now that we want to pay attention to is, are the shoulders riding up all the way towards the neck? I can feel my neck tensing. So I pull my shoulder blades down. So we focus on pulling that shoulder blades down. We have this feeling that the shoulder blade is scooping into the rib cage now. So this is what we're working when we do lean plank. So what we do now, we're going to start on all fours. And you can tuck the toes if needed, because this is quite intense on the ankles as well. So I'm going to inhale. On the exhale, I'm going to tuck and do my cat stretch. I'm going to lean forward and then lift into a lean plank. We're going to hold for 8 seconds and we're going to bring it back. If you find that is a little bit much, we can also fold the mat and place the 4 fingers onto it. What it does, it really teaches your fingertips to take some of the weight here. And I want you to push down that mat. So it's really good to get a bit more awareness and proprioception of those fingers. So, on all fours. Good. Hands under the shoulders. Drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale. Exhale. Move forward. Tuck that tailbone. Try and keep your back round and lift up. And we hold for 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, down. Shake it off. Because it's quite strong on the wrist, this one. But you're going to understand why. We just need to warm up the wrist and start working through the core. Good. We do 3 like this. Okay. We're going to add 1 element now. So we're going to tuck the toes. We're going to push away just to release the shoulders. And then we're going to come on back on the knees, lean forward and take into lean plank. Okay? So tucking the toes, taking into bear crawl. So hovering, open the knees nice and wide and push yourself in between. So sit back into the heels. From here, come back into the bear crawl. Maybe you can go straight into your lean plank. And 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, and down. Good. Shake your wrist off. Nice. Really good. So the thing that we tend to do is tense the neck. I tense my neck quite a bit when I'm in that position. So really try and release the top part of your traps, and really think about that scooping. So, you know, in the previous class I was saying depression and protraction of the shoulder blades. So we're trying to really scoop the shoulder blades to the front, but also keep them down. One more with the back row little sequence. Good. Tuck the toes, back row, open the knees, push. Good. And back row. Maybe come straight into your lean plank. 8, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And release. Good. Shake it off. All right, let's work that core a bit more now. So, if you have the blocks, use the blocks. If you don't have blocks, that's okay, you can mimic. But with the blocks, it adds the element of play, which is quite nice. So, we're gonna come into our tabletop. So, in our tabletop, knees are above the hips. Yeah, sacrum is pushing down the ground, and we place one block to balance on our shins. So we have to keep the shins parallel to the ground. What is quite nice with this is we're gonna go and pop, come down, and take it back. Good. And we keep going. Good. Keep going. We do about 8. Very nice. Good. We should finish the round. Take a little break. Breathe. Whoo. Very nice. Breaks are off. Right knee to the chest. Straight leg. Straight the left. Good. Keep your back round and start rolling up and down. Don't use the left leg to pull, yeah? We're not pulling with the left leg. We're just using the core here. 2, 1, reverse, change the leg. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And breathe. So those are hollow rocks. Yeah, so the temptation to use the straight leg to help rock is quite strong, yeah? But it's not so much this. It's literally controlling through the core to bring. The next round that we'll do it without holding the knee. So we'll try and keep the knee into the chest here. Yeah, it doesn't have to be massive, big movements. Just you want to feel it burning into the core. So, we'll get ready for the second round of the tabletop. Good, grab your blocks. Come into tabletop. Up. 1 block. Good. And here we go. Take your time, don't try and go too fast. It's getting tough. Last one, even for me. Ooh, starting to burn. Breathe. Get ready for your hollow rocks. Good. Bring both knees, release the left leg. Right, the hands come down. Let's go. 10, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Change side. 8, 7, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you thought the first exercise were not giving you burn enough, this one surely will. Take a minute here. If you have to drink water, drink a teeny tiny sip, because what we're doing right now, shaking it a little bit. Yeah, it's a bit of a killer. Right, we're gonna do third round. Now, for the third round, we want to potentially try to, so this is where it's going to get a little bit difficult. Straighten both legs. We're only gonna do 10. So we've done 20 when we do single legs, only gonna do 10. So just as a demo, right leg, left leg, you can do them here. Yeah, they're like really small, or even harder, hands above the head. Ugh. The choice of torture is yours. What I want you to keep is your hollow pose, or your dish. This is a dish, this is a hollow. Okay, so both are difficult. What we want to try and avoid is kind of flapping onto our back, a straight back. So choice, you can try, or you can keep doing your 20 with the single leg. Let's go. Tabletop. My abs are already hurting just holding like this. Let's go. Oh, it's getting harder and harder. Last one. Wow. Oh my God. This is too much. Whew. Okay, breather. 10 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. That was a lot. Whew. I know. The legs are swinging a little bit. But it does help though. It still works. It still activates, but it is hard to keep everything pointed as long as possible. That's the really painful bit. So, we're gonna move on to one of the core compression, and then we're gonna start playing with poses and handstands a little bit. Okay, so core compression. Oh, let's give it a rest. Actually, we're gonna do some nice activation of the shoulder. So this will help for the exercises. So we're gonna hold on to the block, and I want you to keep the distance So kind of distance between your forearms here. And then you hold on to the block quite nice and strong. So this way we don't want the elbow to flare out. So squeeze the block for a nice activation. If you can, try and keep your elbows block width, because that will work the mobility. But as I said, you can still kind of open slightly if it's too much. And what we're gonna do is come into a plank. Yeah, we're gonna squeeze that block here. So first we should really feel the shoulders. Remember to get that protraction of the shoulder. And we're gonna do some shoulder actually isolation. So we're gonna sink in, bop our nose onto the brick and push back the shoulder blades away from each other. This will be super helpful for handstands and forearm stands and headstands. Once we've done 5 here, we do 8 push and bops, so dolphin presses. So push and back to bops. Take your time for this one. I want you to really feel where the shoulder blade sits. Try and keep it away from the ear. Try and keep an alignment. Keep squeezing that brick. And when you push away here, I want you to really think, yeah, good. Really think of keeping those elbows squeezing towards each other when you push away. Yeah. Yeah, and 8 of these. Those are really, really strong for the shoulders. Very nice. This would be so useful. You're going to understand straight away when we're going to start playing with head and with the pincha, with the forearm. It's going to be so helpful because most people tend to like really push into the head. And in fact, when we do a headstand, you really actually want to push through the shoulders. So all the elements that we did, all the lean, protraction, pushing, hollows, even for a headstand is useful because when we go into a headstand, this is essentially our head and we squeeze our head to support it and we use our elbows and our shoulders to support the head so it doesn't, we don't compress into the neck and the cervicals, and then we use the core to lift. So we're gonna go through that. We're gonna do just one more of this one. Yeah, one more of this one, and then we do one more compression, and then we move on to our 3, 4 lifts. So we come down and push, down, push. Good. And lift all the way up. It's very important to understand where your shoulder blades sit and how much can we use of the larger compound muscles such as the lat, the serratus anterior, all the muscles that are underneath the shoulder blades rather than always utilizing the traps, which we kind of want to relax. Everybody is very tense here. So we want to try and teach the body to use and isolate the shoulder blade movements better. So it's also very good to prevent injuries. Okay, so we can use the blocks for these. We're going to try and do a float off. So with the blocks, remember when we did the lean plank, we kind of are going to go into lean plank pose, and then we're going to try and bring the knees to the chest or even the nose. Like imagine you round your back into the nose here, up. And if you can, we float back up. So be really mindful, obviously, don't break your toes. And then if you want to bring it back down, you can also do one at a time. Up, yeah, and slowly control the push. If you can't go up and down, don't worry too much, just do push up and down, push up and down, yeah? As long as you feel this working, that's the important part. So you can do 5, 8, just a push up, or the full lifts. Full lifts. Good. Nice. Rest it. So obviously you can do it without the blocks. It's much harder without the bricks, obviously, because you have to contain it. Also, my tip is really squeeze into the body. So you want to kind of like almost squeeze your legs, and remember that protraction and depression of your shoulder, because we tend to go like this a lot when we're in that position, but we really need to think of pulling down and squeeze the body into the knees. Woo! Yeah. So here I'm like really, we can add one element which is quite helpful as well when you learn all this, is to try and hold. Okay, I need a break for this one, it's been a while, but you can try and hold up and then lift one foot off the ground as well. This is really hard. The lockdown weight makes my butt a little bit heavier to lift. It's harder. It's definitely more challenging. Nice. Okay, good. Beautiful. So this is pure core compression. So we're going to start taking our lifts now. We're going to start playing. I need to take my ring off. So the first that we are going to do is the crab pose, because it's the easiest and the safest to learn technically. But if you are scared, you can use the blocks, and obviously put the blocks a bit further forward so you can drop your head down when you do your crow. That's a good way to use the prop. What we do, remember all the elements that we have worked on that shoulder blade protraction, depression. We worked on that core compression, and we worked obviously on the wrist with a slight lean. Yeah, so be really mindful of that. The elements are, when we start into a squat, a lot of people, easy is to place the elbow into the pit of the knee. So that's your first option. But with the exercise that we just did here, you want to try and imagine that you want to lift almost, this is the hardest one, this is a crane pose, but we're not going to go in a crane. We're going to try and find the pit of the elbow, which is kind of like just above the elbow bone. There's like a little hole between your tendons and your ligaments. And this is the place where we actually want to place the knee. So this is like the next level. Obviously you can do knee pit, but this is the next level. Now, we think about that push, that lean, when we place the knees in, the squeeze of the elbows, the push of the shoulder blade, the squeeze of the knees to the chest, we gaze slightly forward, and we try and bring the heels to the glutes. We squeeze the core, we try not to sink into our elbows, because it hurts. But you want to really pull all these elements together. The core is pulling in, shoulder blades and rib cage is pulling in. Yeah. So if you're going to knee pit, you can still think about that. I haven't done a knee pit in a while. Just squeeze your knees slightly into your elbows to keep your elbows together, and push the floor away slightly more to really feel Again, that core compression here. Yeah. It is hard. It's you bend the elbow slightly. Yeah. Pull the elbows in, so bicep facing forward, yes. It's because your elbows want to flare out, that's why. Yay! That's good though. That was really good. It's because your elbows do a little bit of this. So you want to turn those elbows in, bring that sort of bicep forward, rotate, up and in. And you push them inwards, up. But that might be tighter shoulder, that might be coming from also tight wrist. So be mindful as well, because sometimes it just twists the wrist a little bit. So next one. The next one we're going to try and do, you can use the wall. We'll do both tripod headstand and the forearm headstand. So when we do the headstand, first, don't do it if you feel you can't do it, if you have any neck issues. And also, don't jump it, because the cervicals is a big no-no. You have to really protect your neck and your cervicals. When I start sort of on the hairline. So by the time I roll on my head, I come just before the point of the crown. Yeah, so we want to have we want to slightly keep the extension of the neck. We don't want to try and go in flexion of the neck. We're going to try and keep that natural curve of the neck here. So when we go into tripod, we want to push with the hand and again tuck those elbows in. Remember your crow. This is very similar to the crow. So we make a triangle shape and I place my forehead. That's how I start. Underneath. I push. Here, if you can't lift up, you just lift one leg, try and maybe lift the other leg, tap down. Push, tap. Yeah. What I would like you to try and really focus on is pushing through the hands and ensuring that you are not putting too much weight. Think about here it should be 70% of your weight on the hand, 30% on the head. It's very important to try and distribute the weight again into shoulder blades and core. And control. No kicking. Tuck the elbows in. So again, it's very individual. For some people, this is easy to learn. For some people, it's harder than the other one. So it's good to practice. Always think about triangle, tuck the elbows, working through core. You can also do the same as when you do a crow. We do bringing one knee, the other knee up, and that's like half a headstand. And focus on the core here, up, and then you can even go into a crow, into your headstand. Once you get used to it. Ugh, I haven't done a headstand in a while. I personally haven't done a headstand in a while because I developed tinnitus over lockdown, so I try and like not push too much in my head. That's why also I say protect your neck. Yes. So those two combined together, they can really help get both of the moves, your crow and your tripod. Yeah. The good ones practice. But that's why also we were working a lot the elements just before we played. Now, the cupping forearm headstand. Remember the exercise we just did when we were holding onto our brick, holding the brick, pushing the shoulder blades away. So remember this element here. And then we cup the head with our hands. So for me, that took a bit of a longer time to get. But here, you really want to push through those shoulder blades. You really want to try and get that element, that exercise, yeah? So my head should almost not even touch the floor. When I cup my head after, I take myself again. I try and like lift one leg and I lift the other leg. So again, try and like fine. So if you see as well, if you look at what I'm doing, I'm almost pushing so much through my elbow that I'm essentially lifting my head. And I'm lifting my head with my elbows and my forearms. And same again, we shouldn't be kicking. So I'm still, for me, I find it still difficult to get that pull from the knees. Ugh. For me, I find it harder. I find it easier to lift one leg straight, keep one leg bent. You need to get those elbows in, forearm width apart. I know. But it's good you take your time. I prefer taking the time than rushing it. Yeah, it takes time, but you think about all of this. You think about, I'm pushing and I'm tucking. Yeah, so it's all these elements again. So we're gonna try and do one last. I need the wall for this one. Is coming onto the forearms and do just the forearm stand, pushing and trying to find balance. I'm still learning with this one. This is very hard when you have, for me, it's the shoulders. If you have tight shoulders, because you need to have a really perfect push here. So it's time, just try and have the head comes off. We just do your dolphin press, so the push, walk your feet and kick. Ah. Yes. For me, this is the hardest one. Ooh. Yeah. Ah. Nice. Let's just stretch. So if you have your blocks, you can use your block here. It's quite nice, especially after what we just done. Whew. Placing the block into, just underneath the shoulder blades, hands behind the head, and release into your stretch here, like taking a little back bend. If not, you can also use your chair, so use the seat of your chair, that also works. Otherwise, other option, just to come into a puppy pose here. But this one is a stretch, so puppy pose. Yeah. But take it to your fingertips. It's quite nice as well. Get a bit more shoulder stretch here. Nice. And then come onto your front. If you don't have a lot of space, cactus arm. If you have a lot of space, straight arm. And turn and open your chest here. So you push with the left arm and stretch the front of the chest. All this protraction gets a bit tight in the chest. Other side. Yeah, good. Very nice. And one good stretch you can take home. to train this mobility is to use a chair or a sofa or your bed and open the elbows and like stretch this way. So it's really nice to kind of like pull in and down. Nice. Yay! Well done. Did great.